All right, folks, I want to show you this sign. This was made at the Balboa Park committee meeting and Balboa Park board meeting. This has not been passed through City Council. It's going through staff report on October 5th at the City Council building for the community meeting at 1 p.m. That's 220 C Street, downtown San Diego. I want to read you this stuff real quick, let you know what's going on. Number one, they don't want anybody along El Prado except for 4 little squares that they have. They have a couple of squares away from El Prado. They have a few spaces along El Prado inside of the hallways, but not outside where all the people actually walk. They're sure to put all the spaces far away from people by the looks of it. This is all the spaces in Balboa Park. 26 spaces in all. This says Balboa Park Expressive Activity Site Locations, Balboa Park Expressive Activity Guidelines, published September 2023. And it states the Balboa Park Ranger's Office, 619-235-1122. And that's City of San Diego Parks and Recreational Department, Development Regional Parks of Balboa Park. Again, this is what they showed at the committee hearing and the Balboa Park board meeting, where the board members said that they needed to revisit this and work with the creative expressive activities. They completely ignored our calls to work with us, and then they put this out in the park even though it has not been passed through City Council. And I'm going to read you everything that's on this page. Balboa Park Rules and Regulations. Expressive activity protected by the First Amendment is meant to include all non-commercial speech and expressive content, including performances, petitioning activity, political activity, and the distribution of information such means as newspaper leaflets and pamphlets. For public safety, park maintenance, and during deliveries to institutions within Balboa Park, expressive activity is only allowed between 10 and 7. Non-arcade sites. These sites are limited to 4 foot by 8 foot or 8 foot by 8 foot as indicated, bracket painted on the ground. Tables, canopies, or umbrellas must fit in the bracketed area. There are 18 non-arcade sites available throughout the park. Arcade sites. These sites are designated for individuals either standing or sitting without a table, anything that will block or obstruct traffic. There are 8 arcade sites available throughout Balboa Park. Individuals expressing or conducting expressive activities must familiarize themselves with these locations identified for expressive activities. Individuals will be required to relocate if they are obstructing walkways, fire lanes, vehicle or pedestrian access. Any expressive activity that obstructs free travel of any vehicle, pedestrian, of any walks, road, or avenues of any park or plaza property is prohibited. Locations are designated signage on the map and provided map. Each location is based on a first-come, first-served basis. Expressive activities are prohibited during scheduled special events and other events that require a permit. Can't prohibit expressive activity at special events. In city code, there are exceptions for that under special events. So that one's really troubling. Aside from the fact that they've got allotted spaces for free speech. But we'll move on. These locations in Balboa Park are not designated for sidewalk vending or sales and are strictly for expressive activities. It is unlawful to practice, carry on, conduct, or solicit for trade, occupation, business, or profession. It's unlawful to possess any cup, jar, or container made of glass used to carry or contain liquid. Posting of any items upon tree, shrub, or plant is prohibited. Boisterous, indecent, raucous, or threatening behavior is prohibited. Littering is prohibited. Sound amplification that causes a disturbance is prohibited. Sites shall not be left unattended unless activity setting up or breaking down. So if you leave to go to the bathroom, they'll cite you. This is something that the port has been doing. That right there is another one that is just absurd. So you can't take a little break and step away from your stand. to use the restroom, to get a drink, to get food. Otherwise, you're violating their law. Do not damage city property, including but not limited to turf, shrubbery, irrigation system. It's unlawful to open or close any valves or switches pertaining to water, electric services, or any park or plaza. Activities involving fire or any general prohibited weapons are prohibited. Fortune telling, palm reading, and tarot card readings are prohibited. Holistic health care, including physical massage and healing techniques, are prohibited. Balloons and inflatable balloons are prohibited. Possessing or being under influence of alcohol or narcotics is prohibited. The 10-foot area surrounding the space must be clean of trash and debris. And then unobstructed access to fire hydrants and minimum widths of clearance of fire and apparatuses access roads shall be maintained at all times. There's so much wrong with this, and I haven't even gone over what they're going to talk about at the staff report meeting on Thursday, October 5th, at City Council at 1 p.m. at the community meeting. If you support free speech, if you support busking, if you are an expressive activity, whether you're an artist, a musician, a performer, a busker, or even if you're one of the many religious or political activities in this city, you need to be at this meeting and speak up. Join San Diego Buskers and Artists right now to see what is actually going on. We have all the information there. It's important that you join and see what's going on. I'm going to do a quick show of what's going on around the park and all the expressive activities that will be affected by this. Thank you, man. Down this way we have a couple artisans hanging out selling their wares. We have an information booth which is in an area where they have told several artisans that they cannot be. Yet they can post the information booth right in that same area. We have video footage of this too. It's really interesting how the park rules apply to some people, but do not apply to others. I don't think they understand the meaning of content neutrality. But we shall move on. So we have artists here, chat. We have a face painter here. We have a crystal person. We have another artist packing up. We got some more art over here. And then we even have a balloon maker. This artist would be affected because his is way larger than 8x8. This artist would be affected. This artist would not even be allowed here based on those rules. She would not be allowed here to do these balloons based on these rules. This is the crown jewel, Balboa Park. Crown jewel. Would even affect this man having his bottled water, because that code says that you can't have any glass. This is the rules they're trying to impose that haven't even been passed into law yet in the city code. This is what they're trying to do to expressive activities, free speech in San Diego, at the crown jewel of San Diego. They're trying to crush it and put it into little boxes. We wouldn't have happy people walking the Prado if they did that. Free speech would be crushed. This is what's happening. They're trying to crush our spirits. They're trying to crush our expressive activities, and they're trying to ruin the crown jewel for all of you who enjoy all the art and performances.